Hello, welcome. My name is Christine Cardoza. I am the one of the founders of the Healing Soul School and Naked Alchemy, and I am here and excited to share with you the intro on what Naked Alchemy is, and also bring to you a little bit of healing tonight, and to share some concepts with you that will just maybe broaden your understanding of how our bodies work and how our energy from within can come out and create this kind of naked alchemy that we have within us. It's all about taking off the inner masks, maybe the times that we wanted to hide or we've held on to shame in our own lives or in relationships with others. And naked alchemy really is all about, there's healing in it definitely, but there's lots of fun too. It's about being able to go in deepen that connection to ourselves, to really let go and to surrender to our vulnerability and to create trust in relationships, to learn how to communicate not only with our mouths but with our body, from the sacral, which is just below the belly button, all the way up to our mouth, our energetic body that communicates before we even enter a room or a Zoom room, wherever we are, or a phone call. And so, just learning how to really come in and draw in from those parts of our body and our mind, soul, spirit, all of it, the whole person, on how to communicate so that you are living from the space of feeling really strong in who you are, healing old wounds. Maybe if you weren't taught how to handle emotions, or even, the sex talk growing up, all of those things, we're going to talk about those things in the coming months with Naked Alchemy, and really just coming together to be in this space of oneness and connection and safe vulnerability, safe intimacy. And eventually, after we've done some of the work and we've learned how to heal in our bodies and really to understand maybe some of our old coping methods and such, we're going to move into sacred sexuality. I have been learning from a lot of really incredible coaches, and I love the divine feminine and masculine energies and what that can do for us and how it can just help us in our days, and to realize when we're in our old stuff and when we're connected and we are living from the present and just being in this safe space. And so I've been able to learn from some really incredible people, and I have asked them to come and speak to us during the weeks of Naked Alchemy. Carla Luna Veda is such a great healer and breathwork coach. Really love her magic and what she has brought to our Healing Soul School so far. And then an intimacy coach, to Zipporah, really love what she's going to be able to bring to us. Fatih is a male tantra sex coach for men, and just the way that he's able to share his own journey and what had happened to him, he's going to share a little bit with us. And then also Reva Wild is going to talk to us about sacred sexuality when we get to that section. And so it's cool because I'm going to help lead and go through the program, but I've also brought in some other leaders that can help us as well, and to just take from their magic. Where did this all come from? I'll tell you. This summer back in June, I went back online to online date again. I had taken 2 years off to heal myself from some old baggage and even just body stuff. I'd had a breast reduction, so wasn't feeling fully myself. And I really just went in and did a lot of healing. And I was ready to get back online. Thanks to Dr. S, another beautiful coach that just teaches about our electric magnetic energy from within. And I saw so much pain in the profiles as I was dating, and just felt that. And I thought, wow, I know so much about healing. And my heart really was going out to all those who were looking for partners, and myself as well, having been divorced, and now, it's been 20 plus years, and really wanting to maybe get back into a relationship where it's something a little bit deeper. And just knowing what I know and from the healing circles that I've been in this year, and healing trauma, childhood trauma, all those things, I wanted to be able to bring something forward that was fun, that had a healing element to it, but also this deeper connection as I also continue to heal myself and to go deeper. When I was a young child, I was around 12, and I woke up one night, I heard mom and dad having sex, and I was like, oh, what is that? It sounds so weird and embarrassing. I don't want to sound like that when I'm an adult. So I created this pact with myself that I would be closed. And that definitely has affected, a lot of the relationships that I've been in. And it's really letting go and being able to express myself, even singing in public. is something that is scary to me. And I will just want to crawl up because of that earlier time where I didn't want to sound weird or, make a spectacle or bring attention to myself. And so as I've been healing that, like I'm ready to just open up and to allow, my inner feminine to be open to receive, and the divine masculine. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. And so it's just really being able to live from this energetic space where now you become a magnet. When you're feeling really good, it doesn't mean that you've lost weight or, having to do any of those things. It's really when you feel so good inside and you're learning how to love and trust yourself, then you feel good from within. And people are going to look at you. They're going to think you're younger looking, or you've lost weight, or they just know that there's something different, and they're not even going to know how to describe what that is. And it's all you. It's going to be the healing and the opening up that we're going to do, if you decide to stay with us here as the intro. So I'm going to share my screen here. I just have 2 devices to help me today. And I'm going to share our program and the intro just quickly to let you know what is coming up, to give you an idea of the flow that I've created as a way to bring people through some healing stuff. First, intimacy, so safe vulnerability, intimacy, and then moving into the sacred sexuality. So first is all this intro, and I'm going to talk to you today about the masculine and the feminine energy, what it is, what our wounds are, how to really be the observers of our lives each day, being present, coming to our breath, right? Meditation as a way to calm the nervous system down. And so this really is going to help you even just in this session here to understand our bodies, and calming our nervous system pulls us out of the fight or flight, freeze or fawn that most of us have grown up in, or especially, in this last year, to really just come back into our body, come back into rest and digest, allow, things that you want to come to you instead of this. Either we're so tight and bung up, or we're pressing and we're pushing to, for things to get better in our lives. Now we're just going to take the step back, really become the observer of our lives and what is going on. So first here, tonight we're going to talk about healing the masculine wounds and the feminine wounds. And then we are going to talk about the subconscious triggers, filling your self-love cup. It sounds like a silly title, but this is really important, because when you fill your cup first, usually in the morning, and you know what your needs are, then guess what? The rest of the day, your brain is not looking for ways to meet those needs. So then you're not numbing, you're not dissociating, you're not scrolling on social media, you're not looking to addictions to serve that need that usually it's an inner child wound that's asking to be met. You can do that yourself in the day. Come into a delicious meditation or a breath work practice where you're feeling so good, and it's going to turn, maybe the dread of waking up of like, oh, what's going to happen today, versus, hey, I'm really looking forward to, like so many things can be possible in this day. And then next is all about our basic human needs and what those are. There's 6. And when you know what those are, and you know what your family or your partners is, it's a game changer, because now you know how to fill that cup. It's not even just a matter of filling your cup with self-love. You might be, doing, let's say, a journaling, but that's not really what your body wants to do or you like doing, but you're doing it because you're forcing it. I'll tell you, that's out the window. Affirmations out the window. Because if you're writing affirmations that your subconscious does not believe, those affirmations are not going to work. It's going to have to take a really long time for you to repeat those over and over for that to start to come. And so we're just peeling back the layers, and I'm going to show you where your coping methods are and where some of those things are that can help you just to heal a lot faster, get a lot stronger quicker, and it's not going to have to take a lot of time. Okay. The fight, flight, freeze, and fawn coping methods, knowing what those are, and then how to be able to overcome those, and some of the ways to heal those. It's really just our bodies. It's communication. It's our bodies saying, hey, if I'm holding my breath, then I know I'm in my anxiety breath, okay, or I'm in my fight or flight. And what is causing this? It could be nothing that's going on in my day, but all of a sudden I notice that I'm either holding my stomach or I'm holding my breath. Then that's my body's way of telling me something here is familiar, or I'm not comfortable in this moment, and I can teach my body how to come back down into that rest and digest. I teach you how to do that. Okay. The 4 attachment styles. This is really important. That 0 to 7 years, when we are young children and we don't even know the words or understand what's happening, but our body understands energy and feels what is happening. And so I'm going to teach you what those are so that you can see what they are and know how to come back into that secure attachment for yourself, which is really neat. Once you are really strong and secure and really feeling good emotionally, that you have some skills in the emotional part, really you have greater boundaries, you're not triggered as much, you're able to speak your truth, whether it's at work, in the boardroom, I say, in the dining room at home with the family, or in the bedroom. You're going to be able to communicate, because as we do one thing, we do all things. So if you're having trouble communicating with a boss or a coworker that's triggering you, for sure, you have a hard time asking for what you want at home or even in the bedroom. If you have been controlled as a child and there's been some kind of trauma, or you didn't feel safe growing up, you walked on eggshells, your parents yelled, or maybe, what you were doing was never good enough, then that's also going to impact every area of your life. And I want to teach you how to unhook from that. And to feel worthy, to feel like what you have to say or do really does matter and that you are meant to be here. Okay. The next one is the healing the mother and father wound, that crunchy wound. We all have them. We all chose our parents for a reason. And so it's being able to release them and to heal that wound. If that exists. I don't know my bio dad, so that has been a big one. Abandonment and rejection has been that theme my whole life, mainly from that. There's some other things too that I can share, further into the program as really learning how to heal that. And it does stem from those early relationships. And when you can see that, heal it, release them, release yourself, lots of forgiveness and self-compassion, then you start to take off that heavy backpack that maybe has been weighing you down emotionally. You start to attract the things in your life that you really want. Okay, and then next is the divine feminine or divine masculine. I'm going to touch on that today, but I'm going to go deeper. I put one each, like there's its own class for divine feminine, divine masculine on purpose. I'm going to bring in an expert too to walk us through that. So we do that together, just to share with you how to really come alive and know what that is from within you. What maybe are the things that can trip you up, whether you're acting, in maybe a wounded masculine or a wounded feminine. If a woman is in her wounded feminine, she is an alpha type female because she feels like she's got to do it all alone. There's some signs that once you start to hear this language, you're going to see other people in your life and go, oh, they're just in their wounds, right? And you start to recognize it. And what happens there is you're triggered less. You have way more compassion for them, which is really a beautiful space to be in. It's more peaceful for you. This is all for you. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about safe vulnerability through healing shame. Shame is one of the lowest vibrating emotions that we carry. And a lot of people think it's anger, but it's not. Anger is actually higher up on the scale. Abraham Hicks has a vibrational scale of emotions. Shame and fear and guilt are those lower ones. And a lot of people don't realize that they're hanging on to a lot of shame. When you take off all of the reasons, or you really get down to the root, and I'm all about healing the root of things that have happened and maybe what your patterns are. I see those to really get to that root so that you know what it is that has been recurring over and over. When you can heal it and take out the electrical charge from it or the emotional charge, then it goes away and it doesn't come back over and over, which is really beautiful. We're going to talk about safe vulnerability. Oh, sorry, I already mentioned that. Through the shame, confidence, trusting your emotions. That's a big one. Not a lot of us trust ourselves. I would say I didn't, right? And so one easy way to do that is a little tip is start making your bed every day. Make one piece of your room, but also your life have, just that it's organized. There's no chaos, right? When you make the bed, it's psychological. It's nothing to do with your parents and then telling you what to do or wanting you to make your bed. It's really for you that when you get back into bed at night, you are getting back into bed, into this, organized place as opposed to the chaos. It really does help your subconscious And it helps you to trust yourself because you completed a task in your mind, gold star or a check mark that you did that step just for you. It's part of your self-care, okay, to be able to do that. That's one quick, easy way to begin to start trusting yourself again. And then back to your breath work. When you're feeling agitated or you're feeling like, you're not comfortable, take a deep breath in through your nose in through your nose, and then out through your mouth, okay, to be able to just come down. You do 3 of those and you feel really calm. If you want to do the bunny breath, this is one I learned from a parenting class. To get back to baseline or to calm is 2 breaths in, 1 breath out. You do that 3 times and you're back into calm, regardless of what has happened. It's just a way to come back into yourself and to be in the present moment. Teach your kids that too. It will really help them. Okay. All right. Then the next section, after the healing and learning how to feel safe, being vulnerable, the feminine, really, when she is, all the feminine within everybody, male or female, when you have that, then you can speak your truth because you have boundaries. You know that whatever someone else is saying has nothing to do with your worth. You will speak your truth a little bit more because you've taken off those hooks, so to speak, of caring what other people think, not feeling worthy, feeling passed over, whatever, abandonment, whatever the root of your childhood probably was, often from childhood, to be able to just feel stronger. And then we move into intimacy and really being able to connect to other people, to ourselves first, to connect to ourselves on an intimate basis. A lot of people can't look in the mirror, or when they look in the mirror, they're either ignoring themselves or they're criticizing themselves. Those are the 2 things. And when I really thought about it, I was like, I look in the mirror, but I don't look in the mirror. And so I started to turn that around. And you could even, as a start, just look in the mirror and say, I trust. You trust the universe, trust yourself, whatever you want. Not a lot of people can say I love you or give yourself a high five. That's another good one too, to create that beautiful, energy from within you that you're giving to yourself just by that simple high five. Okay, it's another trick. And then with the intimacy, the 6 stages of our relationship, body image, really, getting to the root of maybe why we hold on to some shame or not wanting to be present. I had a huge shame, I'll even say depression or episode around having my breast reduction, and I've had other surgeries, so that's all incorporated into how I feel about myself and my body and being intimate with someone else. And it's learning how to love all the pieces of ourselves, right, through that, expressing yourself openly and clearly, right, so that you can ask for what you want. And this will apply to all areas of your life, not just in the bedroom, so to speak. Then your feminine essence and your masculine essence. That's a little bit different than the traits I'm going to talk to you about now, but it's really being able to open up, speaking from those places. When you're able to do that, other people feel your energy on a whole different level. You're out of your head and you're actually communicating with your body. Some really cool magic can come. This is when you start to alchemize. You're the alchemist. You can take all of your gifts and all of your ingredients and you can create, almost this elixir of life, of confidence, where people are now drawn to you. You're a magnet. You automatically will become a magnet taking Naked Alchemy, because you're learning how to come out of hiding, coming out of fear and shame, coming out of the closet, so to speak, right? And just being able to step into your own power and your own magnetism and charisma that is really going to be a draw to other people for sure. And then the law of rhythm, we're going to talk about the law of one, really, incorporating some of the universal laws, the law of correspondence, and really understanding who you are and what those core beliefs are, where they came from, and how to heal and release them so that you're not hiding anymore and you can come out of, just be yourself. And then we'll get into sacred sexuality, what that looks like. A lot of people think, Tantra and sacred sexuality is all about sex. Yes, that is part of it and it is there, but really it's connecting to ourselves, connecting to the divine, the mind stuff. All of that happens before any of the clothes come off. So we're going to talk about that and embodying what it is to move your body and to move stuck old energies that aren't serving us anymore. So that's really exciting, for the things that are going to come during that section as well. I'm going to share this next as a teaching piece here for you. So for Naked Alchemy, this was something that I had been learning this year from a few different coaches, and just really love the information all about who we are from within, our feminine and our masculine. It doesn't matter about gender. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, we all have these energies within us. And it probably had to do with something around our childhood. Who was the predominant person that we were kind of drawn to growing up? And whether you had a dad or not, or was around, that can also affect it. But I'm going to share a little bit about how this works. And I'm looking at my other screen because I'm using two devices, and this other one's too little. All right. So with we're going to talk about the masculine first, okay? The masculine side. So it's going to make this a little bit bigger. So the masculine is your left brain. So it's the left side of your brain. Those who are, the intellectual ones, or the logical thinkers, and it's also your right side of your body. So the cool thing about the masculine and feminine is if you have any ailments on your body, if let's say, your left ear is hurting, or your left shoulder or right shoulder, it actually is your feminine or your masculine side. So you can even look into the energy behind, or the emotions of what might be hiding in your body that's so stuck, that's asking to be healed, that's pushing on that part of the body. I like the chakras, and this was something that was a little bit newer for me in the last year and a half, because I was raised in very strict religions, grew up, third board generation for Jehovah's Witness, got out at 13, went to Catholic high school, married into a Baptist family, did non-denominational churches. And then I started to really just look into spirituality. I'm like, can I just do me and not have to go to an actual place that felt so stuffy, to be connected to something bigger than myself? And I really started to look into, what that was like. And I went to a Reiki session that started it. I met an energy healer. I learned quantum healing, and really just tapping into the quantum field. Love Dr. Joe Dispenza and the holistic psychologist for really just teaching how to connect to ourselves, and how to get into these, really beautiful, delicious meditations where it's like an out of body experience. It's a better high than any of the things that I've tried in my life. And so continuing on then with the masculine, extroverted. This is all about, father sky, grandfather sun, when we bring in the native Indian wisdom here, ancient wisdom. Air and fire are the elements, and this is all about, daytime and the yang. We've heard the yin and the yang, okay, with the feminine. And just, this is what it is too. It's just the different words of really knowing how to embody that within us. And that's the law of polarity. So the yin and the yang, if you think of the symbol, right, it has, to me, they look like two sperm, but it has the dark and the white, or the light. So you have the two. So that's the darkness and the light. You can't have one without the other. So if you feel like you don't have confidence, there's a lack of confidence within you. That's all the vibration is. That's just what the bigger thing is in your awareness and what is coming out. But actually, you do have confidence. It's in you. The law of polarity says we have both. It's just being able to bring up the one that you want, so that it is louder and you're expressing it, or you're feeling it within your body even, or just in your experience. Okay, so that's really neat with the yin and the yang, and that's what the masculine and the feminine is. The masculine is also giving. The feminine is the receiver. Okay, so if you think of, I'm going to show you here the pyramids, and these are really important in sacred geometry. These are shapes that are used on purpose, right? Think of the pyramids, it's the strongest structure. They're for healing. You can put yourself into meditation, just imagine a pyramid all around you. It will heal you so much faster. So if you have the divine feminine, right, is like the womb, okay, inverted upside down, and then the masculine penetrates. This is within us. So we have both of those energies. Your masculine is the structure, your feminine is the nurture and the pleasure. So if you're all structure and you don't take time to play, maybe you weren't allowed as a child, or you got punished if you weren't working hard, or for whatever reason you were pushed down in your feminine energy, and you're just like go, 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 or not even taking time for yourself, don't take breaths, or stop to smell the flowers, those things, then you're going to burn out. That's basically what's going to happen. But it's your body saying, like, come into rest, come into pleasure, come into experiencing what that feels like. Because when you do, now you're in a place of rest and digest. You're not stuck in that fight or flight. fawn or freeze, right? You're in a place of contentment. This is the law of attraction, then can feel that your energy is in a place of contentment and gratitude, and you're allowing things to come to you. Many women have a hard time asking for help. We are shut down in our feminine. It wasn't safe to be in our feminine. That's just society for the last 5,000 plus years, is that, we were too much, or we were too loud, or, all of the things. And so we really have been playing small, but we're not anymore. We're coming out and saying, like, I am who I am, just as I am. And if you love me, awesome. If I'm not for you, that's okay too, because I'm strong enough in my own power and who I am. And I know that I have people who are meant to be around me and others that are not. And it's okay. With all the love, we let them go. We're just at a different vibration point. I feel everyone is the same. No one is better or worse than the other person. We're just at different growth or different vibration points. And maybe you go away from people for a time and then you come back, or maybe you don't. Maybe that was just the time that they were meant to be in your life. Whatever the reason is, we can just live in this space of calm and love for ourselves and for humanity, and this unity consciousness of being all in one. All right. So with the masculine, it's activity, it's vision, power, the pushing forward. When you feel like cleaning the closet and you actually get up off your butt and you get it done, like that's you and your masculine energy and getting all of those things done. Okay. The masculine is independent and detached. A problem solver, is tough, competitive, analytical, powerful. Confident, accountable, goal-oriented. You can close your eyes if you like as I'm reading these and just feel in which one of these are speaking to you, where you're like, oh yeah, that's me, or like, I don't have that, or I wish I had that, right? These are ways that you can start to learn how to move into your own self and into your own body. The masculine is also present, is honest, supportive and humble, has integrity, right? Honesty, boundaries, stability, security, protective, disciplined, focused, kind-hearted. Okay, so those are all, the traits of the masculine. And then I'm going to teach you about the wounded masculine. And think of these, and this would be really good. Like, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, come into your lower belly as you're breathing, right? Not from your chest. That's anxiety. Just come down as much as you can. Slow breaths in there. And think of these wounded traits as I mentioned them. So the wounded masculine is controlling and aggressive, withdraws, avoids, too competitive, abusive, unstable, rigid, and irritable. So maybe yourself or someone I'll use myself as an example. Didn't know my dad, definitely controlled as a child, just with the religion and, the way that I was brought up in the family and stuff. And so I never felt like I could speak my truth. And if I did, I was often told I was wrong, right? So what that did is it shut me down in the feminine, where I didn't feel safe enough to speak my truth. And that affected me for sure, in all my relationships, in my business, as I've been learning and healing. And so I went into like that alpha female, where I'll do it, and raw, go, go, go. And, don't mess with me kind of attitude, because I felt like I had to do it all myself, that I wasn't safe to ask for help. I wasn't safe to be able to be in this softer feminine. That's society as well, right? It just, to be this, I don't want to say hardened feminine, but like someone who just couldn't be in her in her feminine energy. It just didn't feel good. It didn't feel safe. So I figured something bad was going to happen, right? So I moved too far in my masculine, but now I'm coming back into balance, which is in between, right? Feminine and masculine, knowing when to move forward and when to take a rest and to lean back. And so that was really good as I was learning how to heal those wounds, because when you can see where you go back and look at all of the things and where you have maybe needed to heal, or the incidents that happened to you, you could actually just look at what are your wounds, or what is the energy that you're in? Is it mine? Is it someone else's? It's really a game changer when you can look at just the masculine and the feminine, because you really can come to a place of healing yourself a lot faster. You're like, oh, that makes sense. No wonder I'm so aggressive. It's because of these things that maybe happened, or the way that you were raised. And when you can release that, release your parents, release your caretakers, let go of this struggle rope, and just come back home, Come back into yourself where everything is always working out for you. Stay in the present, come back to your breath, come back into that calmer nervous system. Things start to change and things start to come into your life that you actually want, as opposed to the struggle, and maybe what was your past experience. So in between the masculine and the feminine is the heart chakra, which is really neat. So it connects the masculine are the top three. So the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown, or connecting to a higher divine, the masculine energy, so to speak. Okay. And so if you've had any troubles with scarcity in your life, scarcity of time, of money, of love, this all is really going to be impacted in all of your chakra systems of not feeling safe and secure and supported in the world, either by a higher power. Some people have an aversion to the word God. I do sometimes. When it comes from a religious, or I think it's coming from religion, I'm like, but really we're all one. It's all the same energy. And so it's really just, being able to find my place, how to heal that. And then the lower three chakras, your solar plexus, your sacral, and your base chakra, of being able to heal those are where most people have some issues, in the first three chakras. When you can do that, you just feel so good and in your power. It's so beautiful what you can actually do and accomplish in this world without doubting yourself. You trust your intuition so strongly that when you get a no in your body, and we're going to teach you how to feel that in your body, you get a no in your body, it's a no. I don't need to second guess. If I'm being asked to, let's say, go out for coffee or to go out and meet someone, and my body says no, I don't even have to second guess. Should I? Shouldn't I? Do I take that job? Do I date that person? Do I go on that vacation on this week? You can really tap into your body and to get that answer and to listen. And now you can trust yourself on a whole other level that maybe you didn't know before. It's really, really neat. Okay. Just to learn a few of these basic tools, a little bit of a formula on how to do this for yourself. So let's move into the feminine. So the feminine is the right brain. So it's the opposite. It crisscrosses at the third eye. So the right brain and the left side of the body. So I have trouble with my left knee. And I'm told that, even with the knee energetically, from a metaphysical standpoint, is judgment. So where am I judging myself, right? And so that is the way that the body works with the energies. It crisscrosses. Introverted, right? She leans back, she's quiet, she's resting. And Mother Earth, Grandmother Moon, those are the feminine energies. Earth and water are the elements, nighttime and the yin, okay, versus the yang. Some of the attributes, and I'm going to read these out if you want to close your eyes and just take these in and listen. Just figure out, let your body tell you what are the attributes that are stronger for you. So the feminine is really about, again, like receiving. I mentioned earlier, stillness, feelings, senses. Excuse me. So if you are a man or a woman, doesn't matter. You might have a stronger feminine energy. It doesn't make you less of a man, a strong man. It just means that the way that you grew up, that you're maybe more sensitive or an empath. I really do feel that anyone who was controlled growing up is automatically in their feminine energy. They are an empath. They're able to read energies because of that control. It taught you how to be in that. But then you can learn, what the attributes are and when to be more in your masculine and when you're feminine. That feels good for you. We don't need to go by what society says. From a soul level, gender doesn't even matter, right? It's just that our masculine and feminine energies. All right, so here's a list if you want to close your eyes and just take this in. So the feminine is interdependent, emotional, nurturer, vulnerable, but safe vulnerability, not this meek, weak kind of feminine, not at all. But when you are in your own power, it's okay to speak your heart. It's okay to say, I was hurt with this, or I feel this, right? When you're from that safe space of not caring what other people think, or, just being able to speak your truth. Intuitive, super intuitive, the feminine is cooperative, relationships, receptive, virtuous, trusting, responsive, well-rounded, reflective, empathic, boundaries, both have boundaries, very important, compassionate, magnetic, right? The magnetism of a woman, right? Or someone who's in their feminine energy. I would even say, men can have this too, where people are just drawn. They have this like magnetism that just comes out of them. Lenny Kravitz, I think of, he has that too, where it just comes out of him. Supportive, surrendered, open, creative, trusting, and I had feelings there again. Okay, so those are the attributes of the divine feminine, of your feminine energy, again, regardless of gender. Now the wounds, let's talk about those wounds. Okay, so if you want, close your eyes again, come into your breath, take a deep breath. Your subconscious takes the information in more when you take some deep breaths. So if you're ever learning something, here's another tip. Do a meditation before. Get really cozy and calm and comfortable, because your brain will take in more of the information. The more you can get down into a theta state. Okay. So the wounded feminine is all about insecurity. Okay. She's super insecure, needy, codependent, cold, manipulative, inauthentic, a victim, over emotional, and hard. Okay. Maybe hard to get at. She's all closed up. She doesn't want to share her emotions or her feelings because she's afraid of being hurt. So you can see with the two, then, depending on where you are, what wounds are you in? Are you in your wounded feminine, or are you in your wounded masculine? The two that are there. And you can really just look at any scenario in your life, any situation, and really just look at, where am I? What's my energy? A good way to ground, I'll teach you this as I wrap up, is, let's say you're triggered, something happens, or you wake up in the day, or you're on a call, or the kids want something from you, you're just feeling so tired, or like, life is going in eight different directions. Come back into your breath. So you can put your hand on your heart if you like, and on your belly. This is especially helpful if you were raised in any kind of trauma or abuse. And just put your hand on your belly there and say, I am safe. Okay, take some deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose. Imagine that breath going in through your nose and washing down your whole spine and going into your pelvic bowl, okay, or into your feet even. We have chakras in our feet as well. And you can imagine right now, you have roots going down into the ground, into Mother Earth, and just ground into Mother Earth. Okay, and take in that deep breath. You could even use some kind of attributes like breathe in love and acceptance, or I'm willing to trust myself, and blow out from your mouth, really good blow, any fear, shame, any of the emotions that might come up that you're holding on to, get them out of your body and move, being able to do things and move. So breathing in. This is how you ground yourself. You come back to present. Anything that's triggering you, you realize you're back in fight or flight, or, whatever it is, come back to your breath, come back to your soul self and who you are. Okay. If you want to continue more, definitely through Naked Alchemy. This is the intro here, but like, these are the things that I'm going to teach, as we're moving through with the experts I'm going to bring in as well, to really teach you how to open yourself up from within, be able to trust yourself in relationships, that you aren't going to cave or want to hide or say, what, screw it, and you're out of there. To be able to come to a place where you can work on yourself, maybe work with the other person for this open communication, this safe vulnerability, safe intimacy, and safe sexuality, or sacred sexuality that we'll move into. I also wrote an ebook on how to start healing yourself. It's a 10-pager. It's super quick. It's just really talking about how to ground yourself, how to release yourself from trauma. It's not as detailed as Naked Alchemy, but it gives you a starting point. And that's on our website, which is healingsoulschool.com. So healingsoulschool.com. On our homepage, there's an orange button. You click on that and the book will be emailed. Day 3, we're just checking in, see how you're doing. And there's another gift that will come on day 3 as well from us, to really teach you how to come home, how to come and really just settle in. Calming your nervous system is a big one, and just to be the observer of your life and situation, to take that step back, being in your safe feminine, as Carla teaches, and to look out, what needs to be done. But also you can come out of your body and really just look from top down. What, the situation that's happening, or I'm being triggered, it's for you. I'll tell you, it has nothing to do with the other person. the scenario, the situation, nothing. It is all for you. And so being able to look at it from this top down, we're not triggered as much. Things that aren't really, that aren't good for us or are not energetically aligned with us, they start to melt away because we take our focus off of it and we just start to focus on the things that are really going to help us and things that will help us to move forward, things that are going to make us feel good. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And I really hope that from this intro lesson that you're learning more about the energies and who you have and who you are within and how to be able to use those. And we would love to have you in the classes. They're on Wednesdays right now at 7 o'clock Eastern. You can reach out, send an email to info@healingsoulschool.com or connect us however you saw this video. And we'll get you more of the information and how to really begin that healing journey so that you're beginning to trust yourself, surrendering, and just coming into that deep feeling of intimacy and connection and that juiciness of what it feels good like to be able to communicate all of the things that you want and allow the universe to wow you as things shift. And now, any of the things that triggered you before, they don't trigger you as much. You're attracting and bringing in better things for your life because you're at a higher vibration point. You're not wallowing, in the lower emotions, and we've all done it, but you're able to come up to the space of love and joy and enlightenment even, where things are just, they're easier and less bothers you. And you're just in this really beautiful space of true one love, just like Bob Marley says. All right. Thank you so much.